All right, let's dive right in. What if I told you that the single biggest expense for most people, yeah, I'm talking about income taxes, was actually invented to soak the rich? And what if I told you that the wealthiest people today use a totally legal strategy to slash their tax bill? A strategy that's technically available to anyone who knows the game. Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down in this explainer. We're pulling back the curtain on a financial secret that's been hiding in plain sight.
But first, let me ask you something. Really think about this. When you get your paycheck, before you even get a chance to pay your rent or buy groceries or do anything, the government's already taken a huge chunk, right? So why is that? Why do you have to pay taxes before you can pay for even your most basic expenses? Just keep that question in the back of your mind because the answer, well, it's at the very heart of this whole story.
To figure that out, we've got to go back in time a bit, to what I call the taxpayer's disadvantage. And trust me, it's a real paradox.
Now, this might sound kind of crazy today, but it is absolutely true. The whole idea of a permanent income tax, it was sold to the American public as a soak the rich scheme. I'm not kidding. The pitch was basically a Robin Hood story. Hey, let's just tax the super wealthy to pay for everything. And you know what? The poor and middle class thought it was a fantastic idea. They voted for it in droves.
And this timeline just lays it all out. It's pretty dramatic. See, before 1913, for most of the country's history, there wasn't a regular income tax. Then, bam, 1913, the 16th Amendment hits. And remember, it was sold as a tax only for the wealthy. But here's the twist. The government's need for money, it just grew and grew and grew. It was like an insatiable beast. So pretty soon that tax expanded and, well, look where we are today. The tax burden has completely flipped, and now it falls heaviest on the very same people who voted for it in the first place. Kind of ironic, right?
And that huge historical shift created the world we live in now. And the bottom line is this. If you're an employee, if you earn a regular paycheck, that money is, by design, the most heavily taxed income you can possibly get. You're basically starting the financial game from a position of disadvantage.
But the wealthy, well, they didn't just take this lying down. They used their financial education to figure out a different way to play the game. And that brings us to the other side of the coin, the rich's corporate advantage.
Okay, so when you hear the word corporation, I want you to stop picturing some giant skyscraper downtown. That's just a building. A corporation, it's much, much simpler than that. It's really just a legal concept. Think of it like a file folder. Seriously, it's a stack of legal documents that creates a new legal person, totally separate from you, the owner. And this one little trick, this simple file folder, is the key to a massive, massive advantage.
And that simple file folder, it literally creates two completely different financial universes. What I'm about to show you is probably the single biggest secret to how the wealthy protect their money. Pay close attention to this. Okay, just look at this. It's so simple, but it is so powerful. On the left, that's the employee's world. You earn money, boom, taxes are taken out immediately, and then you get to spend whatever's left over. But now look at the right. That's the corporation's world. The corporation earns money, then it gets to spend money on all of its legitimate business expenses, and only then, on whatever profit is left, does it pay taxes. Do you see the difference? It's a total reversal. It might just look like flipping two words around, but this is not a small tweak. This is a seismic shift. This simple change in the order of operations, earning, then spending, then paying tax, is arguably the biggest legal advantage in the entire tax code. Over a lifetime, the difference is, well, it's absolutely monumental. And here's where it gets really practical. This is how it works in the real world. A business owner, through their corporation, can potentially pay for a company car. We're talking payments, gas, insurance, business travel, health insurance premiums, business meals, even a portion of their home office and utilities, all with pre-tax dollars. Now think about it. As an employee, you pay for every single one of those things with what's left over after you've been taxed. That's the game-changing difference.
Okay, so right about now, a little red flag might be going up in your head. You might be thinking, wait a second, is this stuff even legal? And that is a super important question. So let's get crystal clear on a crucial distinction: legal avoidance versus illegal evasion.
It's really simple. On one hand, you have tax evasion. That's the illegal stuff. That's hiding income, lying on your forms, things that will get you in serious trouble. We're talking prison time. We are not talking about that. On the other hand, you have tax avoidance, and this is 100% legal. It's simply using the rules of the tax code, the rules the government itself wrote, to your full advantage.
And this quote right here just nails it. It's not that the rich are breaking the rules, they just know the rules better than pretty much anyone else. This isn't about cheating, it's about financial intelligence. It's about understanding the rule book so well, or hiring people who do, that you can use every single legal deduction and incentive the government puts on the table.
And that leads to a really powerful shift in your thinking. Most of us see the tax code as a trap, right? A punishment. But what if it's not? What if it's actually a set of incentives? The government actually wants people to do certain things, like start businesses, create jobs, invest in real estate, develop energy. And they use the tax code to give you rewards for doing those things. It's not a trap, it's a roadmap.
So, okay, this is all great information, but what does it mean for you, right now? How do you actually start to use this? Well, that brings us to the final part, your path to mastery.
Look, everyone's always searching for that one secret hack or loophole. But the real hack? It isn't some magic trick you can pull tomorrow. The single most powerful advantage you can have is financial education. It's about committing to learning the rules of this game right now, not waiting until you think you need it.
And you don't have to become a tax attorney overnight. You can start with small, simple steps. First, just grab a book on the topic, something like tax-free wealth, just to see what's even possible. Open your mind. Second, and don't get scared, spend like 30 minutes on the IRS website. Just browse the small business section. The goal isn't to memorize it, it's just to start learning the language. And third, find a proactive CPA. You want someone who helps you plan for your future, not just an accountant who logs what you did last year. See, the goal isn't to have all the answers. It's to learn enough to start asking the right questions.
Because in the end, this is about so much more than just taxes. It's about understanding that there's a system, and you can either let that system work against you, or you can learn the rules and make it work for you. It's like being handed a secret map to building wealth. So I'll just leave you with this one thought. The tax code is a roadmap. The question is, are you ready to learn how to read it?